What is up, YouTubes and Rahman? In today's video, I want to do a wrap up of some recently concluded class competitions in the 2021 IFBB Texas Pro. Okay, and I will do a small preview of the men's bodybuilding that would be happening tonight or today, based on where you are. And we concluded with the men's classic physique, men's physique, bikini, and some other women's divisions yesterday or maybe earlier today, again, based on where you are. So I'll do a quick wrap up and review of those and a preview of the men's open bodybuilding, which is supposed to happen later, like I said. And before I go into it, I'm just speaking from a fan's perspective. I'm not shitting on anyone. I'm not saying anyone is better than anyone else or judging people based on how they look. This is just how bodybuilding is, and I think I'm starting to develop a good opinion and eye for bodybuilding because I've been following it for some time. So. This is just my opinion on how the show panned out and how the results were. So, we'll start off with the ladies first. Okay, the bikini division. Shout out to Ashley Kortwasser. She's probably the winningest IFBB professional athlete across all divisions. Okay, and she's just 25, 26 years of age. And this, I believe, is her 29th or 30th pro win. I might be wrong. She might have more or less wins around that number, but I think she holds a record, and she's a different kind of animal. Okay, if she shows up 95% of the times, maybe 99% of the times, she's winning the shows. She's a former Bikini Miss Olympia, and congratulations to her. She's pretty much always in shape. Okay, and has a great physique for bikini, and she would be doing another show this weekend. Okay, so that's insane even by her superlative standards. So that's pretty crazy, and once again, all the best to her, and congratulations. And we'll move on to the men's physique division, okay, which was won by Joseph Lee, who I believe is from Korea. I think he looked spot on. I didn't find any shots of him where he's doing conventional men's physique poses, but from what I can see from the pictures, I think his package is spot on. He's shredded dry, which means he's not holding any water or retaining any water, and his muscles are full and popping. They have just the right amount of glycogen and water in them that pushes the muscle against the skin and gives it that full round look. And he's not holding any water between the muscle and the skin. So overall, that's a great look for men's physique. His small waist, tight abs, wide shoulders. So I think he was spot on. He was very close to 100%. So congratulations to him. In second place, we had Nick Ko, and he's a pretty good physique. Okay, he's pretty popular and he looks great. I think he brought a great package and rightful second place. And his conditioning, I think, could have been a little bit better. So that's where I believe Joseph beat him. But good job on his part. Congratulations to both of these athletes, and all the best to Joseph for the 2021 Mr. Olympia men's physique. Okay, moving on to classic physique, which was pretty exciting. Okay, it was won by Robert Timms. He's a U.S. Air Force veteran and not the most popular classic physique competitor, but he had a lot of hype going into the show because he was looking great on Instagram. And a lot of times when you look good on Instagram, it could be down to the lighting or your posing, or you can employ little tricks here and there to make Instagram pictures look good. And a lot of times, this builds up a certain kind of expectation that people have with the athletes on stage, and if they don't look as good as their Instagram pictures, then people shit on them. So, like I said, he was building hype and momentum going into the show via his Instagram. He's prepped by the amazing AJ Sims Cement Factory, okay, who's a great coach, one of the top coaches. And I mean, his package was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he looked crazy. Like, Classic physique, it's very much evolving into classic bodybuilding, okay, because of how the weight caps are, how much you can weigh on stage based on your height. So that allows a lot of competitors to hold on to a good deal of muscle, which makes them look like bodybuilders, but also have a aesthetic classic shape. And I mean, this is how a classic bodybuilder is supposed to look, okay? And his package, like Joseph Lee, who won the men's physique, I think it was on point. I mean, it was at least 98%. I mean, he looks freaking crazy, right? I mean, with the separation of the muscles, and he's shredded and again full and popping, and just the right balance of conditioning and fullness. Once again, like Joseph, and I mean, he has some outstanding body parts, and he just looks like a classic bodybuilder. Okay, so I mean, I was blown away by how he was looking, and I think he rightfully won the show and would be going to the 2021 Mr. Olympia Classic Physique. So congratulations to him. And I mean, I think he can do pretty good at the Olympia. I mean, if he brings a package like this, I think he could very easily be top five, even top three. So I think he looks that good right now, and it was amazing to see what a brilliant package he brought to the stage. And in second place was a lot of Americans' favorite classic physique competitor. He's a U.S. Army veteran himself. Logan Franklin, ninth place at the Mr. Olympia last year, and he looked great. He's been working with Milos Sarcev, and he has improved from his last showing at the 2020 Mr. Olympia, and he has put on some good quality muscle, which he needs to keep progressing up the ranks in the classic physique division. And I mean, he was right there. He was in shape. Okay, I think Robert beats him on the conditioning just a little bit. Okay, Logan was maybe around 90, 92, 93%. I think he's holding a very slight film of water between the muscle and the skin. And but he is in shape. He looks good. He looks full, but I think Robert was very close to being 100%, and he looks like a great bodybuilder. So does Logan, but I think just a little bit of a better package that Robert bought, it saw him through, and Logan rightfully in second place, and I'm not sure if he would have enough points to qualify for the 2021 Mr. Olympia, or if he would need to do another show, if he would decide to do another show. But it would be exciting to see whatever is next on his plate. So, good job on his part. In third place, Steve Lorius, we talked about him in the Tampa Pro review. Okay, his conditioning was a little off there. He looked better in this show. He was prepped by Phil Wiz, of course, and he brought a better package here than he did at the Tampa Pro. But I just think Logan and Robert, they had a little bit better conditioning than him, and I mean, I think conditioning played a big role in this show among the panel of judges. And in these two divisions, as far as I can see, the men's physique and classic physique. So I haven't seen a lot of photos of Steve on stage, but I think his conditioning was a little bit off compared to Logan and Robert. Again, he's not out of shape. He's not. It's not like he's not there. He's right there. He's how he's supposed to look on stage. But the competition at this level is that intense that he needed to be a little bit better in order to win the show, right? And I think the judges made the right call, and he got the third place. He would have some points in his tally with his recent fourth and third finishes. So it would be interesting to see what he does next, whether he'd be doing any more shows before the Olympia, or maybe he'd be going into an off season. So whatever he decides to do, I said in the Tampa Pro review, I think he has a textbook classic physique. I think his structure is right up there with Chris Bumstead, and if he can just get into form and maintain some kind of consistency with what he brings to the stage. If his conditioning can be a little bit crisper, I think he can go a long way. So, like I said, it would be interesting to see what he does next. So, good job again, Steve, and we look forward to following you and seeing what you bring next. All right, so that does it for the wrap up of the divisions that have already concluded. And congratulations to all the winners and good job. I won't be covering some of the women's divisions because I don't follow them closely. And yeah, we'll go into a small preview of the men's open bodybuilding. Like I said, we'll just look at the top contenders here who could be heavy hitters. I think it's around 9 or 10 people who would be getting on stage on the Texas Pro, and most of these people are great bodybuilders. Okay, the two favorites going into the show, I think, who would be battling for the top two spots. Number one, Ian Valier, who would again be my favorite going into the show on the back of his recent win in the Tampa Pro. Okay, he would have a chance to improve on his package a little bit. There was some room for improvement there with the package that he brought to the Tampa show, and he has an opportunity to do that here, working with Patrick Tour, of course, who I'm also a fan of, and I think it would be a good competition between Ian Valier and Texas's own the King Snake, Steve Kuklo. Steve's last show was the 2020 Arnold Classic, where he finished fourth, and I think he's been a top five, top six at the Olympia previously. He's a top tier bodybuilder, experienced, one of the more experienced guys in the game. And his recent updates on Instagram, I don't think he's missed a beat. Okay, he looks as good as he's ever looked. Okay, his physique seems to be on point and big and freaky, dense and in shape. And it would be interesting to see how him and Ian match up. All right, I think it go either way. I would go on to predict a win for Ian because I just think he's more in tune with his body, and Patrick Tour and Ian himself, they are pretty smart and they can bring a sharper package into this show. And if he's at 100% and if Steve's at 100%, I think Ian can edge it out a little bit, but if both of them are in shape and on point, it can go either way. So it would be an interesting matchup at the top of this show. We also have Phil Klahar, who was the runner-up to Ian at the Tampa Pro. Okay, he looked incredible, but I think he lacked a bit of completeness in terms of being a complete bodybuilder to Ian, and I think Ian was slightly better conditioned, even though most people online feel like he was not conditioned at all. But Phil is a great bodybuilder. I think he has a good chance to do well at this show as well and get some points on his tally and get him to qualify for the Olympia. I personally would not predict he would be in the top two, but that is possible if Steve and Ian are off. But if both of them are on, I don't think he makes it to the top two. So I would predict a third place finish for him. Um, and another guy we should look out for is Martin Fitzwater, who's just, I believe, 22 to 23 years of age. He's the training partner of Brett Wilkin, who pretty much shocked the world at the Chicago Pro and pushed Hunter Labrada down to the wire. Okay, he brought an incredible package, and Martin also seems to be in a position where he can shock a lot of people, okay, and break some hearts on stage, so to speak, okay, because for his age, he has a lot of dense, incredible muscle mass and great shape, and I think he has all the tools in place for him to succeed and be a successful open class bodybuilder. So it would be interesting to see how he matches up with these guys. All right, so look out for him. And we also have Hassan Mustafa competing in this show. Okay, he's done plenty of shows this year, and he's placed all the way from third up to fifth, sixth. And on his latest Instagram updates, he looks great, which has been the case usually with his showings. But The only knock on him is the conditioning from the back, particularly in the glutes. His glute muscles have not really been visible in any of the shows, which I believe has cost him places he could have placed better if his glutes were more ribbed or they appeared to be. And it would be interesting to see how he comes in into this show and looks against Phil and Ian and Steve. So that would be interesting. And I think he would be ending up in fifth place, okay, because I believe Martin would show up in shape because I've seen some of his training videos recently, and I think he would be bringing in a good package and would be in shape. So I'm predicting a fifth place for Hassan Mustafa, but that could change. Okay, any of these placings could change. These are just my predictions. You can let me know what you think about the show or any of the other classes and the results in the comments. You can let me know what your predictions are or what you think about my predictions. Okay, and we have some other good bodybuilders in this lineup, like Muhammad Al Imam and Dorian Hayward. But I think this would be the top five pretty much, and the guys to look out for. There might be some shocks and surprises, which can always happen in bodybuilding. But I think this is how the top five will line up. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about the Texas Pro till now. I might do a review of the men's open bodybuilding after it concludes. I may not. So maybe you can look forward to it or whatever. Okay, so I hope you liked this video and found it entertaining and um, had positive things to feel about my wrap up and preview. Once again, let me know what you thought in the comments. And for those who are new to bodybuilding, I hope you learned a few things about it. You can see some of the previous reviews that I've done of the Chicago Pro and Tampa Pro, so you can get more of an idea about what bodybuilding is about. And yeah, go ahead and like and share and subscribe to my channel. Okay, I would really appreciate that. And thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you next time.